All right, so start off by saying all praise to Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the Prophets of Doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. All right, we're going to pick right back up in this series of I think I titled it Put No Other God Before Him, speaking of Yahweh. All right. Yahweh Boho Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. And what Lord willing, what this has been pointing out is one, that we need to get to know our power. All right. We don't know our power. Most of us, speaking Israelites, all right, you go off of what this world has told you about your power. Okay? You are told that the evil comes from is a separate power. All right? You are told that the Lord is all love, which you don't even know what love is, according to the scriptures, and that evil, all right, or perceived evil is from another power. All right? The Lord does all these things, all right? Whether that be from things from the left or things from the right. But there's certain trouble that comes that comes to Israel, okay, that is there to correct you. All right, us. Let me speak to myself first and foremost. All right, and the Lord told us, if we sin, what are the wages of sin? It's death. Okay, so Lord willing, you are that this is getting the point across that you need to understand the Lord. Don't give the things that you perceive as negative or unloving from a power, all right, as being such. That's what this world tells you. If you get to know your power, all right, you'll start to understand a lot of things. But you have to come out of being in the world. All right, you have to come out of everything that this world told you about your power. All right, reset yourself. All right, which what I mean by reset yourself is the Lord has to give you the gift of true faith so that you can have which comes with the power, all right, the spiritual power to be able to hear this truth, to understand it, okay? To be able to see it, understand it for what it really is, not with this world. You don't try to mingle the truth with this world, man, okay? So when you are told that the Lord is all love, you don't perceive the things that happen to you, all right, your afflictions as learning lessons. All right, you don't see what the Lord is trying to tell you, all right, or what the Lord has told you would happen if you do certain things or don't do certain things. Okay, a lot of the things that everything that we've gone through, all right, comes from disobeying the Lord, man. All right, and if you understand that reincarnation is biblical, you won't be able to sit here and say that, well, our forefathers did this, we didn't do this, or even if you speak of slavery, you'll hear a lot of people say, well, I wasn't a slave. But you don't understand reincarnation. All right. You probably were one of those slaves. You probably were one of your forefathers. Well, you most definitely disobeyed the Lord at some point in your life. And not only this one, all right, that's just this one that we're talking about, but previous ones. All of these things are in the scriptures, man. All right. This series was just lightly touching on, all right, it is you need to accept everything that comes from the Lord, man. Uh, Everything is righteous, right? Everything is righteous in the biggest picture of things, all right? This is the Lord's way, okay? The sooner uh, you understand that, the more comfort. That'll bring comfort also, because then you'll know, well, I shouldn't do these things, or I should do these things, all right, to the best of your ability, all right? But if you go on in this world's spirit, in this world's way of thinking, you're not going to get any kind of understanding, man. All right, so let's pick back up here in Job. All right, I want to go to Job chapter 2, and we're going to start at verse 1. All right, the heading reads, Job loses his health. Okay, Job 2 and 1, it reads, again, there was a day when the sons of Yahweh, all right, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. What is this telling you? Okay, that the spiritual demon, Satan, all right, he's not out of line. He's not out of order when it comes to the Lord. He obeys the Lord, man. All right, he works for the Lord. He's a top angel, all right, the top power on the left-hand side, the spiritual demon Satan. But there is a separation between the spiritual demon Satan and the ones that are on this earth doing the workings of the lying spirits. Okay? So this tells you that this spiritual demon Satan also came among the Lord. All right? Verse 2 says, and the Lord Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Lord Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the power and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and flesh and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. Now what's about to happen here is the testing of Job's faith. Okay, and we'll read this again in the NLT, so don't worry about it if you don't understand this King James. Okay, but if you don't understand King James, all right, you can do your studies. All right, go into these words, find out what's actually being said here. All right, or you can go to other translations, that'll help you. Okay, so Job 2 and 5 now says, but put again, all right, but put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. Now, if the spiritual demon Satan disobeyed Lord Yahweh, all right, rebelled against him, as this world would have you believe, okay, why would he afflict Job but not take his life? All right, the Lord told him, but save his life. All right, don't take his life. Why wouldn't the spiritual demon Satan do that if he disobeyed and rebelled against the Lord? All right, he's in order also. Okay, Job 2 and 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord Yahweh and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Now listen to this. Even Job knew, all right, that you have to take all of what the Lord is doing, okay? All right, the Lord does all things, all right? So Job 2 and 9. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. All right, you still gonna have faith. You see what's going on with you. All right, you see that you're going through all this type of affliction. All right, you still trying to be faithful. Curse God and die. That's basically what she's saying. All right, Job 2 and 10. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai? And shall we not receive evil? In all this Did not Job sin with his lips? All right, he understood from the get-go. All right, you get the good, you get the bad, you get the ugly. All right, it all comes from the Lord if you consider the big picture. All right, when you consider the big picture, you understand this. So let's go back and read some of that in the NLT. All right. We can try to read it all in the NLT. All right, Job chapter 2 again, verses 1 through 10. Okay. So in the NLT, the heading of the second chapter of Job reads Job's second test. All right. It says, one day the members of the heavenly court came again to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser, Satan, came with them. Where have you come from? The Lord asked Satan. Satan answered the Lord, I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on. Then the Lord asked Satan, have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He fears Yahweh Baal Shem Shai and stays away from evil. And he has maintained his integrity, even though you urged me to harm him without cause. Satan replied to the Lord, skin for skin, a man will give up everything he has to save his life. Now, in this day, right, men are going to give up everything to save their life. All right, when all that you have to do is have faith in the Lord. All right, be obedient to the best of your ability. All right, don't keep pulling your shoulder away from this truth. All right, you have to be a part of the remnant and the elect, and you will understand what is being said here. Okay, the rest of the world is just going to go on in their worldly ways. As a matter of fact, let's get another scripture really quickly here. This is Revelation 22. We'll start at verse 10. All right. This is in the King James with the subheading above Revelation verse 22 and 10 reads the final message. It reads, and he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, this is verse 12, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work should be. All right. So most people are going to stay where they are. All right. The truth being here is what is going to convict you people. All right. Let's see. Had I not come. Let's see. All right. This is John 15 and 22. All right. The Lord is speaking through the Spirit, right? Let's start at, this is John 15 and verse 18, with the subheading being disciples' relation to the world. It says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right, this is why people come against this truth, come against the men of the Lord. They are of the world. And most of the world aren't going to, they'll hear the word, all right, but they won't understand it. They won't even try to, all right? They'll rebel against it. But all this is doing is building a testimony against them also. Not only Esau, but whoever holds on to his side. And what I mean by hold on to his side is rebel against the Lord, okay? John 15 and 20, remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. And do they? All right, most of the world does not. Next verse it says, but all these things they will do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. And this is the subject matter that we're on. People just do not know the Lord, man. They do not know Yahweh nor Yahweh Shai. Okay, but the truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is here on this earth being professed in all of its glory. Okay. Again, John 15:21. But all these things they will do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned. Or excuse me, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. So you turn away from this truth. All right, you're turning away from what the Lord is telling you. All right, He is that cloak. He is what covers you. All right, if you throw that away, you have no covering. All right, you have nothing to save you, nothing to bring salvation unto you. Let's keep reading. John 15:23. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. Okay, man. All we do is tell you the truth. Okay. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Verse 24 of John 15, it says, if I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this cometh to pass, that the world might be fulfilled, that it is written in their law, they hated me without a cause. All right. You hate what you don't understand. You hate what you don't know. All right. Let's this makes me think of another verse. Let's get it really quick. Is it first? Let me see something really quick. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 15 and 34. All right. We'll start at 33. All right, 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. All right, the Lord tells you how to do the things that are pleasing unto Him. All right. Which way to walk, how to walk. All right. To accept all things that He does. Okay. To learn from, grow from the affliction that you get put through down here, but also understand why you're going through the affliction. Again, because of disobedience. All right, but you can't intertwine this world with the truth. Okay, that the world's ways and the world's philosophies and beliefs, all right, are evil communications. Okay, and they corrupt your way. Okay, they corrupt our way. They've been corrupting our way. All right, we walk more so carnally when you're in the world, all right, than in the spirit. All right, we walk in the doctrines of men. Okay, we take heed to those more so than we do the truth. Okay, because we don't know our power. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, though there are a remnant of men here teaching the truth. It's just a question of if the Lord is going to deem you worthy enough to hear or to recognize what's going on. All right, to be activated when you hear these things. All right, 1 Corinthians 15 and 34. And I'm going to read this one in the NLT. All right, it says a little bit more clear. 1 Corinthians 15 and 34. Think carefully about what is right. And this is what we always point to. Think carefully about what is right. All right. You do this by considering your power constantly. Always being in communication with him, praying constantly. All right. Asking for help. All right. Asking for to not get trapped up in these man's trap and the devil's traps. What I mean by the devil is Esau, Edom. All right. Not getting caught up in his snares. All right. Being able to see the world for what it is and recognize the truth. You always have to be in communication, man. All right. So think carefully about what is right. Again, 1 Corinthians 15:34 in the NLT. Think carefully about what is right and stop sinning. All right. Be more obedient, man. All right. Remember, what is sin? Transgression of the law, right? So when it tells you to stop sinning, okay, stop transgressing the law. Be more obedient to the best of your ability. All right, you're not going to be able to be perfect in this flesh, but the Lord knows if you're doing something uh, just because you feel like you have the power to be. All right, He knows when you are a sinner versus sinning. Okay, all right, because we cannot be perfect. This flesh has its own law that it obeys, which is to not. All right, we cannot be perfect. This is why we have to lean on Yahweh, Bo Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. 1 Corinthians 15:34. Think carefully about what is right and stop sinning. For to your shame, I say that some of you don't know Yahweh, Bo Shem Yahweh Shai at all. And that's the point, man. We got separated from our power. Okay. Through evil communication. Right? I mean, first and foremost, through disobedience. All right, first and foremost, because this is the way that the Lord wanted all this to play out. All right, for us to be subject to sin and vanity in order to be subject to hope and faith. All right, and the truth is here, man. So let me find out where we were really quickly here. All right, so we're back here in Job chapter 2 in the NLT. All right, we're down here at let's see, where did we leave off at? Okay, we read verse 4. Let's go to verse 5 now. NLT, Job 2 and 5 in the NLT. But reach out and take away his health. This is back to testing of Job's faith. All right, but reach out through affliction. Okay, but reach out and take away his health, and he will surely curse you to your face. All right, do with him as you please, the Lord said to Satan, but spare his life. All right, it says, so Satan left the Lord's presence, and he struck Job with terrible boils from head to foot. Job scraped his skin with a piece of broken pottery as he sat among the ashes. His wife said to him, are you still trying to maintain your integrity? Curse Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai and die. But Job replied, you talk like a foolish woman. Should we accept only good things from the hand of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai and never anything bad? So in all this, Job said nothing wrong. Okay, you can also look at when Job replied, you talk like a foolish woman. You can look at these other philosophies and beliefs. They want you to turn away from the Lord, knowing about your ignorance to whom your power is. Okay, so when things happen that you find that are affliction, you give that power to something else, and you don't understand the scriptures, so you just run to another belief. Okay, you run to another belief. You don't maintain your integrity in this because you're ignorant. All right. This man wants to keep you ignorant. All right. But your afflictions and your blessings should always point to the power, man. Should always point to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right. You should know that you're going to receive good and the bad from the Lord. All right. This is all human perception. Okay. But ultimately, the Lord's judgments, everything that has to do with the Lord, all right, is righteous. All right, and these other philosophies try to tell you to curse God and just die. All right. They lead you towards death. All right. And they get you to curse the Lord, man. Okay. So those other philosophies and beliefs can be looked at as foolish women too. Okay. So now let me see. Let's go here to Isaiah 45:7. Man. Let's start here at verse 4. It reads, "For Jacob, my servant's sake," right? Jacob is Israel, right? "For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect." Right? There's another name for the elect. It's called the Israel of Yahweh, right? The Israel of God, right? The Israel of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. So again, "For Jacob, my servant's sake, and for Israel, mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me." All right, there's no power beside him. That means on his level. Okay. All right. Some naysayers out there will say, "Well, see, Yahweh Shai says that he's on the side of the Most High." All right. Now, y'all have to be able to listen, man, and understand. All right. There's no power on the level of Yahweh. All right. None. Not even his son. Okay. Not on the level of Yahweh. Yahweh Shai is not on the level of Yahweh, but he is also a God. Okay. A power. Right. The world and everything in it was created by Yahweh Shai from the blueprint of Yahweh. All right. But you don't know Yahweh, nor do people know Yahweh Shai. This is the problem. All right. "Thou hast not known me." All right. Is what it says. Isaiah 45:6 now says that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. All right. He formed Yahweh Shai, all right, which is the light. Okay. And the spiritual demon Satan is also his creation, man. All right. I form the light and create darkness. And that's just a spiritual look at this verse. Okay. So it reads, "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil." All right. Isn't Yahweh Shai the Prince of Peace? Okay. "And create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things." Okay. Man. All right. So when you give your perception of something evil or unpleasant to another power, all right, you're giving half the Lord's powers away. He's balanced. Okay. The Lord does all these things. For what reasons? It's up to you, and go look and find out why, man. It says, let me see. Let's go here to this verse really quick. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." Okay? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You should be doing something, all right, with your own due diligence. Putting in the work, man. Of course, using these guides, the men of the Lord, all right, that are here to guide you through the Spirit and power. But you need to go look at these things and be convinced in your own mind that this is the truth. If you are not, when it comes to those days, actually when it comes to now, when you pray, what names are you praying in? All right, what name is your manner of life showing your obedience to? Now, these are questions that you need to worry about now, not when all hell breaks loose, but now. All right. So now let's go back here. Uh, let me see. We might be close to being. Let me read Romans 11 and 22 in the NLT. It says, "Notice how Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai is both kind and severe. He is severe toward those who disobeyed, but kind to you if you continue to trust in his kindness. But if you stop trusting, you also will be cut off." All right. So you have to understand, all right, all these things come of the Lord. It's just which side are you on? Are you walking contrary to the Lord to the best of your ability, like this world tells you to do? Are you walking in the ways of the Lord to the best of your ability, like the men, like the remnant and the elect are telling you to do? Which one are you doing? I mean, it's a simple question. There's a lot of people are afraid to look in the mirror, man. They're afraid to look in the mirror. They're afraid to go against the grain that is this place. But the Lord isn't with this place in the condition that it's in. This is First John chapter 2. And I searched in the NLT, but it came up anyway. Man. You start looking at these, you go back to read these scriptures to give edification, and you could very well end up reading a whole chapter. This is why I always say I'm still learning to be teachable. All right, to be able to be taught and to teach. All right, to stay on point. There's so many things in here that you learn. You just, man. Let's start here. First John chapter 2 and verse 15, with the subheading being, "Do not love this world." This is in the NLT. Right, it reads, "Do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you." That's a hard scripture for a lot of people to swallow, man. All right, come out of going with the grain of this world, man. All it has in store for you is destruction. That's all, and that's it. All right, this leads to life. The Lord leads to life. Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai leads to life. Yahweh found a way the ways to immortality. All right. And sent his son here to share it with you. All right. A little short on time. I'm gonna stop there. We'll probably pick right up. We got one more video in this series, Lord willing. All right. And we can't touch on everything that speaks to a point. I mean, there's so many things, so many scriptures for so many different points, if it's the truth. All right. So we'll probably pick right up with this, but let me go ahead and finish with this. All right. Again, 1 John 2:15 through 17. Okay. In the NLT, with the subheading being do not love this world. Do not love this world nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but are from this world. And this world is fading away, along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases Yahweh Bahoshem Yahushai will live forever. All right. Lord willing, we'll pick right back up with these exact 3 verses. We'll read it in the King James, the Good News. All right, and we'll go on with finishing the lesson. But for now, I hope that came through as sincere and edifying. And with that, all praise to Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the Prophets of Doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth, and also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I'm of that number, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.